Hi everybody, this is Don Gold, the art guy, bringing you another art video. Today I'm talking about painting dramatic flowers and leaves, part 1. Now the first display I have here, I'm glad to share with you many of my flower paintings that I have had fun painting. Of all the wonderful things in this beautiful world we could paint, why do we paint flowers? There are so many reasons to paint flowers. First, they are living objects that move, live, and grow as we do. Painting a flower gives us a wonderful opportunity to connect with the very heart of nature. Each flower is formed with great precision according to its innate blueprint, yet each bloom is totally unique, even when several blossoms sprout from the same branch. Painting a flower is a great exercise in focus. Outdoor, the light is constantly changing and the flowers move in the breeze. You must learn to pay a careful attention to each shape and color to portray the expression of the flower. Even cut flowers in a vase will move and change over the course of a few hours. Learning to express the essence of a living flower is a good way to capture its spirit. Flowers put us in touch with our happy feelings. Perhaps it's the beautiful fragrance or the vivid color. Maybe it's the sense of gentleness and delicacy. Painting flowers is the most enjoyable way to spend a day. It's fun, it's easy, and it uplifts the spirit. And you have a beautiful painting when you're finished. Many of my viewers of the art videos, they like it when I provide them with easy, practical tips for better flower painting. Now, here's the first one. Have many choices. You may choose to limit your palette, your subject, your paints, or even your painting time. The key is to have many choices. And then color. One easy way to make a better painting is to pick a dominant color and explore it. For instance, white flowers on a black background are an exciting possibility. Where are the warms? Where are the cools? How much color can you add and still retain the feeling of whiteness? The next tip is composition. There are several popular guidelines for good composition. The 4-quadrant grid is my personal favorite. Simply draw 2 lines, either mentally or with a light pencil, bisecting your paper vertically and horizontally into 4 equal areas. The rule is to place a different shape in each quadrant. Control. Keep control of the things you can. The quality of your materials, the time devoted to your work, and the care of yourself. Always restock your materials at the end of a painting session so you'll be ready for the next day's work. Contrast. The eye automatically finds the area of highest contrast in a painting, so keep the area interesting. Always put your lightest light and your darkest dark and your center of interest in one place. You should always be thinking about placing a light shape against a dark shape or vice versa. Unity and variety. Include a variety of shapes, colors, sizes, and textures in your painting. Balance this variety with a sense of unity and harmonious design to excite but not shock the viewer. And then there's the happy accident. It's not a mistake to make a mistake. I think you should use happy accidents for all they're worth. Did you put a spot of red where you wanted blue? Well, don't be in a big hurry to correct it. It might be just what you need. The light source. Always be aware of your light source. Where it is coming from, that's the direction. How bright it is, that's the intensity. And what is the quality? That's the mood. Indoors, it's easy to set up a spotlight to give your subject a strong, consistent illumination. Outdoors, there is only a 2-hour window of time in both mid-morning and mid-afternoon during which you can work with a consistent light. An important reminder, there's only one sun. Be sure to have your paintings have only one light source. Now that may sound silly, but many paintings are ruined by conflicting shadows. Now we have a guest artist today, Joan Vasconi. If you look at her picture, this was a class project where each art student painted the same vase of flowers, but from a different perspective. Now for some more tips on painting better flowers. The next one is overlapping. Paintings are more interested if the shapes are overlapped. Lining up all the objects in a row makes them look like stiff wooden soldiers. Subject matter. Any subject is suitable for a painting, even a weed. I have seen wonderful paintings of thistles. In the beginning, limit yourself to 1 to 3 subjects. And as you advance in your artwork, you naturally develop the skill necessary for greater complexity. Also, sit at a proper distance to view your entire subject clearly. And then there's the theme of 3. To keep things simple, I often use the number 3. I might limit myself to 3 main colors, such as red, pink, green, or blue, yellow, orange, or I may limit myself to 3 main shapes. And then there's the matching brush technique. I use 2 brushes of similar size and shape, one brush fully charged with color and the other containing clear water. This way I can paint a hard edge in one area and quickly fade it out in another. This is also an excellent way to paint shadows and backgrounds. And then there's the multiple brush technique. I prefer mixing color on my paper rather than on my palette. This is accomplished by using several brushes, each loaded with a different color. The trick is to remember which color is on which brush. And shapes. If you understand how shapes work, you'll see them everywhere and enabling you to paint anything easily. And then there's rules about rules. There are no rules. Seriously, rules are meant to be guidelines and suggestions to get you started in the right direction. If in the course of your work you come across something that is totally a departure from the known and it seems to work, well, go for it. I want to talk briefly now about leaves. Many flower paintings get off to a good start, but then falter. The artist has paid careful attention to drawing, coloring, and shading the individual blossoms, but not enough attention to other details. The painting may have too many or too few leaves, and the leaves might be out of proportion to the flower. That is why it's important to give as much consideration to leaves, too. After all, you don't want your flowers to be so overpowering that they drown out their supporting areas. Paintings must have a strong center of interest, but no painting is truly complete unless all the elements work together. And now let's talk about some basic leaf shapes. The dictionary describes more than 50 different kinds of leaf forms, but that's far too many for my brain to absorb and paint too. So let's keep it simple and narrow it down. For the purpose of this exercise, we'll divide leaves into 5 basic categories: linear, round, oval, triangular, and squiggly. 5 is a little more manageable than 50. So let's start with linear. The linear leaves, of course, the most famous is the daffodil, and then there's the daylily, the iris, the tulip, and the oleander. Round shapes, we all know, water lilies and geraniums, oval, hydrogen, orange trees, and roses have oval leaves. Triangular, ivy, hibiscus, ferns. Heart-shaped leaves are definitely qualify as triangles. Squiggly leaves are a bit hard to categorize, and they also are a challenge to paint. Daisies and cosmos are a good example of plants with squiggly leaves, and California poppies are another. Now, just because you can see the veins on a leaf doesn't mean you have to paint them. It can be a lot more interesting to merely suggest one or two veins or to leave them out entirely. This concludes our talk today for this art video. I want to see you next time for more watercolor basics for painting dramatic flowers, part 2, and we're going to have a special section on background.